Hello and welcome back to Tips and Tricks to Live a Happier, Healthier, and More Successful Life. And of course, I am your host, Roger Michelle, and I'm so happy that you could join me again. Before we get into what we're going to be talking about today, like we always start off, let's just take time to either up until the point where you're watching this video or any point yesterday, 3 things that you could pick out that you could be grateful for. Now keep in mind, these could be small little things like a hot cup of tea, warm, cozy socks. It could be anything that you want it to be. My 3 are, number 1, getting a chance to hang out in my yard with my kids on a November day and the weather being nice enough to run around in a t-shirt. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that, especially as we are running out of these days very quickly. Number 2 was helping my son make his first ever YouTube video, which will be up soon. All that information will be in the description below, where he's helping young athletes or any athletes get 15 to 20-minute workouts to help you live and be more fit and more healthy as well. And then lastly is my walk, something that we're going to be doing a deeper dive into at a later point on this channel. But these talks that I have actually talked about when I used to do this a lot on Instagram, where we go out at night or I go out at night and walk around and just talk to the sky, the moon, the stars, the universe, if you will, and myself most importantly, and doing it out loud. And I'm really thankful that I've been picking that back up and taking the time to do it. And yesterday was even kind of a rainy day and I still did it, which is why I'm so grateful that I am staying consistent and taking the time to do that, which kind of leads us into what we're going to be talking about today. Now, this is a term that was coined by Joe Dispenza, and it basically goes to change your personal reality. You have to change your personality. And that leads into a lot of things that we're going to be talking about on this channel, which is number 1, and most importantly, that I am not a believer, and I think I've talked about this briefly, that the Bible is giving us cyclical history. I don't believe that the Bible is offering any history. I don't believe, in my perception, that any of those people have ever existed in reality to the sense that me and you exist in reality. What I believe is they are all personifications of different states or personalities that we can embody in life, and those states are going to bring us to the results that we have on a day-to-day basis. So what I've always said for a long time, and if you know me, you've heard me say this before, the Bible was and will always be the original self-help book given to us by God, the universe, or whoever you believe that was given it to us. But that's where that text comes from. And in it, it goes over all these different personalities. You get to learn about the prostitute, the beggar, the thief, as well as the king, the journeyman, the nobleman, the father, everybody, every personality that we can embody or state that we can embody exists in the Bible. And not only does it give us these different personalities and states, but it allows us to see what happens when we embody these different personality and states. And further, it goes to show us that all we have to do is let go of some of these states and personalities, and without any judgment, without any kind of falter, we can actually move forward in a totally different life. You know, one of the things that I like to say, and it rhymes a little bit, and that is that death and resurrection require some inspection. It happens in our lifetime with every correction. Every time you make a correction in your life, you're dying to who you used to be as to resurrect yourself to the new being, to the new you. It's so funny. A lot of times we hear when people become famous, oh, they're not even who they used to be. They forgot about me. But what happens is they have now transformed into a new personality, which created a new personality. Personal reality. And if we cannot move up to that level of being or vibration as to where they are, we just kind of feel like they've forgotten about us, they don't care about us, or they're not, they're just different and evil now because of whatever happened. But it was the changing of the personality. And this is where, you have to start to realize, number 1, with people in your life, which is very important, are they supportive of the changes you're trying to make, or are they not supportive of the changes you're trying to make? Because on this journey of living healthier and happier and more successful, you're going to have to change. So in the essence of health, if you're someone that doesn't eat healthy and doesn't exercise, and every time you think about it, it pains you to do it, that's a part of your personality that you have to change. That's a state that you're in. You're in a state of dis-ease. You're in a state of discomfort. And our job is to change those states. And sometimes, yes, there is a little bit of force that is required, because as human beings, we are creatures of habit and we live our lives through habit. I actually just learned recently, which is so interesting, that a chess player sitting down playing chess will burn up to 6,000 calories while playing a game of chess without even moving. Which is also interesting because if you think about it, very rarely do you see an overweight chess person. But back to the point, the reason why that is because our brain requires so much energy and so much calorie burning that it's a constant flow that we actually burn calories by just thinking. And that's why it's so important for as human beings for us to develop habits. That habit that we develop as human beings takes away from the need of thinking, which actually helps us conserve energy to be able to move and to do things and to be around. So we have to realize that as far as our lives go, we are habit creatures. We form habits. It helps us conserve energy. It helps us live more efficiently in life. And also another fun thing that I like to say too is that if we didn't form habits, you would have to relearn how to walk every day because walking is a habit. You don't think about how you're going to walk. It's just a habit that you have. And if we didn't have that habit, imagine trying to live your life trying to relearn or trying to learn how to walk every single day. So we have to sit here and take a second to realize that these habits, they're in essence able to help conserve energy, help us to live better. But sometimes we pick up on some of these habits and these ways of moving and living and thinking that don't serve us. But it seems to keep us safe, or it appears to keep us safe, or it appears to at least keep us comfortable. So we continue to live in that space. So we have to take time and understand that if we don't change our personalities, we're not going to change our personal reality. And we've touched on this. Our first thing that we have to look at is what is the initial response or reaction that we have around certain things, whether it's love, food, money, exercise. And that's the first area that we have to create change. And there is some essence of faking it till you make it, but I want to be very clear. You're not faking anything. You are finding reasons to be happy that are really reasons to be happy in your life. You're trying to focus on those reasons. And if you start to move into an area of trying to adjust your health through food and through exercise, and it starts to make you feel that pit in that stomach, or it makes you feel uncomfortable, you have to just leave it alone and move away into a different place. Listen, I'm into fitness and I like exercising. There are times where I'll sit in the parking lot of the gym for 30 minutes just trying to convince myself to go inside. And then once I go inside and I get the blood flowing and I start moving, everything feels great. And then I leave so thankful that I took the time to do it. Now, yeah, did I have a gap that I wasted? But why focus on those things when I could focus on the fact that, hey, I got my workout in. I'm still going to get the rest of the work that I need to get done for the day, and I'm moving in the direction that I need to move in. So ways that we could start to change and work on our personality to change our personal reality is first, I mean, if you don't know, if you're completely like, I have no idea what I need to change, I just know I need change, talk to people that you trust, talk to family members, talk to friends, talk to someone that's really close to you. You could say, hey, what are some of the areas that you think when you hear me talk are holding me back? Or what are some of the areas where we start to have this conversation, I start to get very negative? And believe me, you don't need anybody else. These conversations will actually serve you best if you take time to do it on your own, completely on your own, talking to yourself and figuring out and being honest with yourself with what areas need to change and what areas don't need to change, or what areas need to be built up on because they're already successful. Your personality is in lockstep with where your life is right this moment, right now. And if you start to look at people that you aspire to be more like, listen to some of the ways they talk about certain things. Listen to some of the areas that they go over, the way they feel about, the way they think about. I mean, listen, we live in the era of YouTube where you can get on any channel from money to fitness to anything, and you could even hear reviews of or reactions to people going over how they felt during these different times and different points in their life. So if we're going to create any kind of change, it's important that we first look within. There's something called the Hermetic Principles, and one of their principles, which is probably the most important, as within, so without. Everyone tries to change their life, but that's like looking in the mirror and trying to change what you see in the mirror without ever trying to change what you see on yourself. So a perfect example, like if I look in a mirror and I see an eyebrow ring, I can't take the eyebrow ring out of the mirror, The only thing that could change is me, and then the mirror changes. Eyebrow ring out, no longer an eyebrow ring in the mirror. And if there was, that'd be pretty scary, but pretty sure there's not going to be one there. So we have to start looking within, and we have to start realizing that the people that are healthiest are generally more cheerful people. They find reasons to be happy. That doesn't mean bad things don't happen. Bad things and things that make people feel uncomfortable are happening all the time. It's our choice in how we deal with it. Are we coming to it from a solution-oriented aspect or a problem-oriented aspect? If we're always looking for problems, we're going to find them. But if we're focused on solutions, we're going to move in a direction that will always bring us to the best possible option for us at that time. So how do you change this? One, taking time to actually look yourself in the mirror. And you could start with friends and family, but definitely taking time to look yourself in the mirror and start to figure out what are the areas that you need to grow. Second is, how can you change the way that you feel around these things? Now, this, I will tell you, is the hardest. We talked about how feeling is the secret, but it's your job to come up with feelings. Remember, these feelings are real to us, right? If you're watching a scary movie and you jump really quick, that feeling is real. If you don't want to watch a scary movie because your heart's racing, or you're sitting there and you're watching a heartfelt, I don't want to say Disney movie just because of the direction they've gone in, but a movie of that kind, and you see something, especially from a parent perspective, of this interaction between a parent and a child, and it starts to make you tear up. Those feelings are what? Those feelings are what? Those feelings are not based off of a real circumstance. It's based off of a thought that elicits a response from you. And that means that if it's happening while we're watching a movie or we're watching TV, it means it could happen just from us conjuring it up within us. And when we start to take time to look at these things and start to take time to really develop who we are, the better off it's going to be. At the end of the day, what this all comes down to is all of us have a spirit inside of our body. And the way that I can prove this is you're listening to me talk right now, okay? I have friends and family that get to see me on a daily basis. And at some point in time, because it's going to happen to all of us, and I hate to be morbid, but it's a reality, my body will be laying inside a casket with no spirit in anymore. So how can it be me if I'm not in there anymore? How can it be you if you're not in there anymore? So that means that we are so much more than this body. We are so much more than this thinking mind. We are the being that is in this body. We are the being that is activating and using this mind. And again, we're going to get a lot more and dive more into this, but just start realizing that when you speaking to yourself, you're speaking to the spirit that's connected to all things. And there are no such thing as good or bad. Now, that could be taken a lot of ways. Don't get me wrong. There are a lot of things I don't agree with. And there are a lot of things that in society are perceived as bad, especially like hurting someone or things of that nature. But that doesn't change the way that our inner being is going to interact with us and with this world of manifestations that we live in. So you have to guard the way you feel. It's really a big deal. If it wasn't, why do you think I would put it in my spiel? Start to guard your feelings and realize that the thoughts will bring up feelings, and those feelings communicate with your spirit. And your spirit is always working in the direction of what you feel because it's designed by law. These things all work by law. There's plenty of invisible laws, right? Like right now, I am somehow transmitting my voice and my picture through the air into you. When we think about something called gravity, it's invisible, but we know it always works. Our whole world is designed around invisible laws, and realizing the truth of who you are and who we all are and what our connection is. And then we start to combine that with changing our personality, which will change the way that we think. It'll change the way that we feel. It'll change the way that we act, and it'll change the results that we get. But at the end of the day, this is all about bettering yourself to live a happier, healthier, and more successful life. I got a lot more fun content coming for you guys. I hope this one helped out today. If there's anything that you would like to see, let me know in the comments below. Please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And until I see you guys next time, God bless.